Good morning, internet friends. I'm gonna get ready for the day to head out to the store. Let me see if I can adjust this a little bit so that I can see the mirror and talk to you at the same time. So, one second. Okay, just getting some of my things situated. Bring them on over here. So, today, hopefully you guys can still see me. Today, this is why I'm not on a makeup channel, okay? I can't make up and talk at the same time. Oh my goodness. So, getting ready to head down towards Noblesville. I guess I can just face you while I do this because the camera is just as good as my mirror at this point with the lighting. So we're heading down to Noblesville today to get a 20-gallon long tank. The one closest to me, the Petco closest to me, is sold out, but Petco is currently having their fish tank sale stuff, makeup from the night before. But they're currently having their fish tank sale. Which I guess they changed it up. It used to be like $1 a gallon. Now they're just like, I think it's like 35% off. And then I was trying to order online today so that I could just do in-store pickup. But it's like not wanting to process my card. I'm gonna try again before I leave because I don't know if, it don't make any sense to say this, but I'm wondering if maybe it's because the store isn't open yet because they don't open till 9. So I'm gonna like try again. That seems like a really stupid thing for the online sale not to go through because the store's not open, but we'll try. Otherwise I'm gonna have to go inside and buy it, which is fine. I'm going down there anyways. Not a big difference between you know, sitting in the parking lot having them bring it to me versus going into the store. But the biggest thing for buying it online is that I signed up with my email, which I had not given them before, and they're giving me an extra 10% off. So the tank's regular, I don't know, you get 35% off. I'm not good at math. Percentages, I'll be honest, I never got a handle on when it came to math in high school. Like, I never really learned that, and I hate to say it, but it's true. It's not for the lack of them trying to teach me. I just can't grasp the concept on percentages. Like, I get like 50% off is like half. Okay, I get that. But anything past that, like, I don't understand the concept. I can't just math that in my head. I don't even really know how to use a calculator for that. I feel so stupid admitting this, but it's true. And I chalk it up to my dyslexia. I'm so bad at math. I'm awful at it. I had a hard enough time like figuring everything else out, and I guess it's good enough that I figured out what I did when it comes to math, because I'm just really, really bad at it. Like, I don't even trust myself when it comes to like multiplying like 2 + 2. We all know it's 4, but I have days where my brain wants to tell me it's something else, and it's like an internal battle. And I will literally, it'll be like the simplest thing, like 8 + 8 is 16, but like I'll go put it in a calculator to double check because what if it changed? Because that's what my brain is telling me. So I'm lucky I got through as much math as I did. I passed all the way up through Algebra 2 in high school. Barely, but I passed it with a D. Got me graduated, and that was as much as I needed. But yeah, percentages, I just never got a grasp on. So anyways, I don't remember how much, because, you know, I mean, I'm paying $35 for the tank. That's the sell price. So like $35 plus whatever 35% of that would be. I don't know. So, but anyways, doing it online, I got an extra 10% off of that. So I made it like 45% off. And I don't know if I'll be able to get that extra 10% if I go into the store. But I can't get the online thing to process my debit card. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of dyslexia, Mr. Levi is in the process of being tested for it, which is not surprising. It runs in the family. I have it, my mom had it, half my cousins have it. I don't know what side of the family it comes from. Like, I don't know if it was my grandma or my grandpa, but my mom said she thinks it's my grandpa because I guess my grandma was like super smart with things. But I wish I would have gotten my dad's brain because my dad's really, really smart. And I was hoping the boys would be like my husband because he's super smart. His whole side of the family is super, super smart. Yeah. Looks like Levi got my brain though. So when it comes to school, our expectations will just be, you know, appropriate for what his abilities are. And we'll go with that, which is how it was for me in school. So the uphand is like, I kind of know what to expect if he has it, which is looking like he probably does. Because they did like an informal evaluation at his school. And it came back saying he was like, not inconclusive, but like 2 things. There's like 3 different testing things they did. I can't remember what the paper said exactly. One of them he passed with flying colors, which was probably his math, because thankfully he's good at math. See, I'm good at English with exception to spelling. I suck at spelling, but like Englishy stuff, vocabulary, I was fantastic at that in school. Writing, I was really good at that with exception to all my spelling mistakes. That stuff I was good at. Math, I struggled so hard. So far, Levi, he's struggling with anything English related. He's not picking up on sight words very well. He's struggling with just learning his ABCs, but like math, he's already counting well into the hundreds. Like the teacher sent home a review thing a few months ago that was like, we now count to 40. And I'm like, okay, my kid's done that for like 2 years. Give him something challenging. Like Levi's probably counting up to 400 in the class. Like he's really, really good at math and counting and doing all that stuff. So that's good because I suck at it. And so when it comes to him needing help with homework as he gets older, hopefully it's going to be English stuff. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I can help you with this. Can't help you with spelling, but I can help you with English, because math, I'm like a lost cause. Like I had to take pre-algebra 3 times in school. Like I took it my 8th grade year, my freshman year, and my sophomore year. And then junior year was algebra 1 and senior year was algebra 2 with chemistry on top. But senior year was a fun time. This is beautiful, isn't it? Anyways, yeah, all that to say with his testing, there's like 3 different tests that they did on him, and I don't know exactly what each test was looking for because it wasn't really an in-depth information that we got on that. But it just said like 2 of them he's at some risk or at risk, because I think how they evaluated it was like no risk, some risk, at risk, that's something like that. I don't know. So one of them he tested and there was no risk. I'm gonna assume that was probably something math related. And then the other 2 they tested him on came back saying he's at risk. So, you know, I guess it's probably language arts type stuff. So they're gonna do an official test on him to find out if he has it or not. But yeah, so I feel bad for him if he does have it. I was hoping it was something my kids would avoid having. Hopefully Ira won't have it. And I've been doing more research on it now that I know that Levi's getting tested for it. Because like I was evaluated in school myself, tested positive for it, went through all of like the special ed classes in school. But like I never looked into dyslexia itself. I just knew what people told me, which was like, oh, you're gonna like have things you struggle with and you're gonna like flip things around and things like that. But I never really looked into it, and I'm kind of starting to look into it more because my kid's gonna have it. And it turns out there's like a whole host of other disorders that go with dyslexia a lot of times. One of them was specifically related to math, and I fully believe I have that. And there's no reason at this point for me to go get tested for these things. Like I'm 31, almost 32, like I've made it this far, you know, I don't see a reason to have further testing done. I'm done with schooling, I'm not going back. But one of them is specifically related to math, which I fully believe I have that. And then they also say that ADHD goes along with it, which I found interesting because I've kind of wondered for the last couple of years if I might have that, like a mild form of it, just because there's sometimes I really have issues with focusing and with comprehension. Like my husband can be talking to me and I'm just like spaced out and it's one ear out the other, and I have to tell him like I'm having a hard time focusing right now. Like I just can't process what you're saying to me. And that's happened more than once where I'm just like, I'm gone. But like I've never had like the hyperactive. I've never been like that. I'm more like a zone out, can't get my brain to work. But then I also have times where like I get obsessed with things, which I think also goes on with ADHD, or ADD, I'm not really sure. But I found that interesting to find that out, that they go along with dyslexia. And I think there's so much more information out there now about dyslexia. And I also found there's like books online you can read to your kids to help them like feel better about themselves if they have it, which if he tests positive for it, I'm going to get him the books to read to him, because I know for myself in school, like it really hit me hard, like my self-esteem. I felt stupid, and I still feel like that sometimes. I'm sitting here, I'm 31, I don't know how to do percentages. Like I don't understand them. They don't make sense in my brain. Like I said, I understand 50% is half of, okay, I get that, but like anything past that, I don't understand it. And yeah, so it's good that they have these books to like try to help build confidence in kids and let them know like you're not alone, and like it's not an uncommon thing for people to have, and So I also learned something kind of new about dyslexics that I found interesting, and it's that, and it is true, but I just thought it's how everybody thought, but like people with dyslexia can think in like 3-dimensional, like, because the whole thing, it was a TikTok, so I guess you could take it with a grain of salt, but it makes a lot of sense just based on like my own brain and my thinking. But like it was saying that how most people think of things, and like they either think with words or they think with like images. And then like the dyslexic person comes into the conversation, they ask them, and they're like, oh, and the person's like, I think with both. He was like, it's like there's a highlight reel and a narrator. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that how everybody thinks? Like I can't even, most of my stuff is thought related, but there's also the imagery. And like I don't even understand how you would process thinking with just imagery. Like I can't even comprehend that. But then they also made a comment about like people with dyslexia think in like 3-dimensional. And I'm like, isn't that normal? I don't know. Again, it was a TikTok reel, so take it for what you will, but like, I kind of related. I was like, isn't that normal? Anyway, all that to say, talking about new obsessions, I am going to the pet store today to pick up a 20-gallon long tank, because I'm finally taking the plunge and buying an axolotl. I have wanted one of these for like the last year, and the whole reason we ended up with a regular fish tank is because last year, and not the tank we have now, that one was given to me by my cousin, but before that we had another tank at the old house that I got rid of when she gave me this tank. But yeah, so like Levi had his first dentist appointment. He was super scared and nervous, and a few days prior to that we'd been at the pet store, and he was talking about wanting an axolotl. We'd seen him at the pet store. I'd never even heard of one before, but they were so cute. I was down. I was like, we gotta take it home. I'm down for this little water puppy. This thing is the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I told him, I was like, if you do really good at the dentist, we'll buy you the axolotl, because like I want it too. But like I felt like that was pretty good reward for going through with something that he was scared of, you know? And he did a great job at the dentist. We go to pick out his axolotl, and he decides he wants neon tetras. And I'm like, seriously? Because I was kind of over having fish. Like, I mean, I really do enjoy having them, and I sit there and watch my tank a lot. But like before having Ira, I had a guppy tank, and I had that for a couple of years, and it just kind of burnt me out on the whole fish tank thing. I was kind of just like over it. And I thought, oh, okay, we put the tank to use, get something new, like try something new that's not a fish. Yeah, we ended up with neon tetras. So that's set up with neon tetras. We got a beta, and then we got some Danios, and there's it's a Pluckos in there, and we got some African door frogs. Those are kind of neat. Those are different. Those are neat. I like those. And we've got some ghost shrimp in there, and like it's a neat tank to watch. I do enjoy the tank. I've dabbled a little more in live plants, which is something that I am interested in, is learning about more live plants. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it's been a bad experience overall, but it has turned into my tank. We set it up for Levi, and like he is excited about his frogs sometimes. He's kind of over it, you know? That's why we haven't gotten him any other kind of first pet, because it holds his attention for like a week and then he's over it, you know? So, all that to say, I'm finally taking the plunge and getting an axolotl. I have been researching them for like the past year, and I finally feel ready of like, I'm gonna take the plunge, I'm gonna get one. So it's gonna be like a building process to actually getting one, because I gotta get the tank first, and thankfully those are on sale, so I'm getting one right now because they're on sale. The axolotl themselves, they can be expensive. They range, the ones at my local pet store are like 40 bucks. But they, if you buy them online, can be into the hundreds, depending on what kind you want to get. I kind of want a lavender one, but those are pricey. They're not cheap. Just like for like your regular albino looking, or I guess they're called Lucian, I think. Not albino unless they have red eyes. Or your blacks or your wild type. Well, I don't know if they have the blacks, so I know they have the wild type and the Lucian at my local pet store. They're like 40 bucks, but I don't know. I kind of feel like if I'm taking all this time to get all the equipment, I'm just gonna like save up the money and get the lavender one that I want. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll take you along for the ride and finish up my makeup. I've been using this blush forever. I'm at this point where I'm not even sure it's working anymore. And like, it's kind of getting kind of a crusty top. So I think I might need to buy a new blush here sooner rather than later. But I haven't done my makeup for like myself in ages. Like I've done it for work, so I don't look bad at work. But granted, I wear a mask, so I don't really know why I put in the effort. But just for myself, I haven't done it in a long time. I was doing a lot of digging looking for this guy and could not find it anywhere. I still need to do my brows. They are so thick and bushy. Like, look at that. They are so long, so much brow hair. Yeah, so on YouTube, while doing the research for an axolotl, I have kind of fallen down the rabbit hole of people breeding axolotls. And I kind of want to try that. That looks like fun. It looks like, it just looks really neat watching them grow. So I don't know, we'll see. I keep telling myself like, just get one to start and see what you think, you know, because if you're gonna have more than one, you're gonna need more than, you know, there's a lot more upkeep and startup costs for that, because I'm gonna need 2 20 longs if I do that, because you don't want to keep your male and female together at all times. I know I'm not looking at you, I'm just looking at the camera, and I'm sure it looks weird on your end. But yeah, you don't want to keep a male and female together all the time, because you could make your female very sick if he tries to constantly breed her. Plus you could end up with a shit ton of eggs. It sounds like 250 is about the average. That's what everybody online keeps saying, but they say you can have less than that, and some people say you have into the thousands, which is kind of scary. I don't know what the fuck I'd do with 1,000 axolotls. 250, I think I could sell to local pet stores 1,000 of them. I don't know what the fuck I'd do. But anyways, I keep telling myself, just get one to start. Just get one to start and see. But they do look so cute when they're babies and growing, and it looks like a fun process and something that like maybe Levi would enjoy doing with me, to like watch them grow and take care of them. And I just think it would be fun, and I think they would sell pretty well. But like I said, that's like a, like for my, I should say, I think that they would sell fairly well for my area. And I only say that because the only pet store I know of around me that has them, there's only one. And there are some people in my area that kind of boycott that pet store, because I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. I guess they get their dogs from puppy mills. I'm not really sure on that. I personally never went to them for a puppy or cat. I've only gone there for like fish tank and aquarium type stuff. And when I was younger, like, I think I got like gerbils there and a rabbit once. But I've never went there for any like large animals, like a dog or a cat. And then, I don't know. I know some people have talked about like it not being clean and stuff, but anytime I've been there, I feel like it looks fairly clean. Maybe not the rodent cages. I do think they kind of overpopulate those. They look kind of bad. But as far as like the aquariums, which I'm going in for, like the fish tank stuff, they normally look pretty good. So anyway, all that to say is there's no one else in the area selling axolotls except this one pet store, and there's people who don't want to shop with them for various reasons. So I'm kind of like, well, a personal breeder, like, I think in my area, I wouldn't have a problem selling them. Not saying that's the whole reason I want to get an axolotl. I just think they're stinking cute and I really want one. But I think the breeding side of it looks like fun. It looks like a fun thing to do. So we'll see if anything ever comes of that. But I do want an axolotl in particular. I want a lavender one. Like I said, those are kind of expensive. I want them all. They're so freaking cute. If you haven't seen an axolotl, like I'll be putting up pictures, I'm sure. But like adorable little water puppies. Am I not wrong? Well, they look like a little water puppies or a little water dragon or something. They're so cute. So anyway, let's go get this first 20-gallon tank. And then it's going to be an accumulation over like the next few weeks of like, I'm going to have to get like filters, which like the filters themselves not very expensive, but I have to get the water pump, which can be up into the 30s, which isn't bad, but like I'm also trying to pay off my credit card. So it's like a bad time to want to do bills and also buy a new aquarium pet at the same time, because aquariums are not cheap setup. And then you have to have, you know, place for them to hide and food and So, and buying the little thing itself is not going to be cheap. So it's going to be an accumulation. I'm not going to do it all at once. Watch me buy it all tomorrow. But it's just how I work. I'm not going to do it and then I just do it. But anyways, we're going to head to Noblesville to pick up the fish tank. Hopefully we can get my debit card to process. So I just got to Petco. I've never been to this one before. It's in a whole other town. It's down in Noblesville, which I live in Indiana, if you didn't know. And the directions sent me back behind the building where like the loading docks, the dumpsters are. And I'm like, I see what you did there. Because my podunk ass don't belong down here in the fancy rich area. This is like Noblesville, Fishers, Carmel. It's all like fancy pants, wealthy people. And like me from like an hour north of here, I belong back by the dumpster. I'm sure that's what they think. But I was like, what the heck, phone? He's sitting back by the loading docks in the dumpster. And you're like, arrived. And I'm like, yeah, agreed. Okay, let's go inside and see if they have the tank I need. So just finished up at Petco. I feel so bad for the lady working in there today because she was the only one. They had a call off and it seems kind of short staffed to only have 2 people to begin with. I mean, they had like their groomers and stuff, but, you know, that's not working like the store. So I felt really bad for her because she had one lady who had like about 1 million questions about dog shoes. And her dog was like trying on different shoes and trying to find ones that fit. And I'm not knocking dog shoes. I used to use them on our last dog who had long hair on her feet. They really help, especially in the winter time when it's like super snowy, icy or whatever, and you don't want to have to constantly wipe their feet off. Get them some dog shoes. But the ones that are like rubber balloons work amazing. They stay on really well. They go on easily. Never had a problem with those. But, and I ended up recommending them to the lady because she kept trying shoes on with her dog and nothing would work. And she kept asking the retail lady like questions and stuff. And they kept trying different shoes, trying to find something that fit. Finally, I was like, if you're having trouble with dog shoes, try the rubber ones. Which then led the retail lady to run her to a different aisle to find the rubber ones and show her those ones. And then she came back up and she checked some people out who were waiting in line. And then finally was able to help me get the 20-gallon long. And like nothing against her at all. Like, oh, gosh, that would really suck to be in a position where you have to help all the customers and you're the only one. Like, whew, feel for you. So she kept apologizing. I'm like, that's fine. I get it. Like, we're short-staffed where I work. The only difference is like I don't have to deal with customers. I mean, I do deal with customers, but not in the same sense that they do because I do food demos. So what happens if we don't have enough people to cover all the demonstrations that become available is the demonstrations just fall off and we lose those. It doesn't affect anything in the sense of like I've got customers waiting on me and I'm the only one, you know, a little bit different. So but yeah, I was like, it's fine. Like I didn't want to be standing here because I did ask. I was like, is anybody else working here? Because I didn't want to like be standing there waiting on her, watching her put the lady's dog's shoes on if there was somebody else who could help me. But I did a couple laps around the store and I seen nobody else. So that's when I approached them. But anyway, got my 20-gallon long. I wasn't able to get the extra 10% off, which sucks. But it is what it is. Because it was going to be like $31 if I had the extra 10%. But I ended up spending $38. But I did get the 35% off, which is what they're offering. All, you know, it's like their standard right now is 35% off all their fish tanks. So it was like regular 40 something, and I got it for 38. So not bad. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put it when I get home. I have no idea. And now I gotta go find Buffalo Wild Wings. The husband is gonna place an order for food. About 2 days ago, I started calorie tracking. First day went well. I was like 150 calories under. It was pretty good. Under like a 2,000 calorie diet. So I ate like right around 1,900, I think, that day, somewhere in there. And then yesterday I was 100 over. Because we got Taco Bell for dinner. Wasn't planned to get Taco Bell, but we ended up having to go, so frustrating. Okay, so like our old house, y'all know we're renting it to my cousin. The kid's old trampoline is still in the backyard. Well, the homeowner's insurance we had put on that property for rental insurance like 2 or 3 months ago told us the trampoline in the yard was fine because it was considered the renter's property, and if anything ever happened, it'd be on the renter, which my cousin, her niece and nephew are the ones who play on the trampoline. And we told her, we're like, do you want us to take it down? This is what our insurance said. It's now considered your property. Do what you want with it. If you want us to take it down, we'll come and get it. If you want to keep it for the kids, you can. But if anything happens, it goes on your insurance, not ours. And she's like, I'll keep it. It's fine. Not a big deal. We get a letter yesterday in the mail. Okay, keep in mind, we are having a cold spell right now. It's currently 17 degrees outside, which is colder than yesterday, and yesterday was like 27. Okay, it is frigid. We get a letter yesterday from the insurance saying that we have until February to take down the trampoline or they're canceling our insurance. And I'm like, what the f is this shit? Like, what about the conversation we had 2 months ago about this? You know? So I got a hold of my other cousin who's got the niece and nephew that play on the trampoline. And she doesn't want it because her husband says no trampolines at the house, but her mom wants it. So we had to go down yesterday. The husband took down the trampoline. I felt so bad I wasn't able to go and help him. But y'all know that the area of town that we used to live in, was kind of shady. So we didn't want to like leave the kids in the car, even if we locked it like by themselves. Even if they're like strapped in their seats, like it does seem like a bad idea. So he had to go take the whole thing down by himself. My cousin was still working. So, I mean, I guess like we could have went inside the house. We have the keys for it, but I just felt wrong doing that. Plus, I didn't want to leave the kids unsupervised in her house because she doesn't have it baby proofed. So even that wouldn't have worked. But my husband had to go take it down by himself, and I felt really bad. But by the time we were all said and done, he was hungry. It was like 6 o'clock at night. We normally eat by like 5, which I recently found out that people in Italy like eat around 9 o'clock at night for dinner. And I'm like, what? I'm like in bed by then. I wouldn't be able to function where you live. But anyways, yeah, he got it taken down, and we put it in a shed on the property, and then her mom's gonna come get it probably in the spring or something when it's warmer and put it up for the grandkids. Yeah, so that was fun. And it was also kind of a big old like, why is this an issue now when it wasn't 2 months ago when it was warm outside? But yeah, freaking freezing. It's so cold. So cold. So cold. You disagree? That guy goes for a speech therapy evaluation on Saturday, so that'll be good. Get him started in that, get him talking. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, calorie counting. I was doing good on calories yesterday until we ended up having Taco Bell for dinner just because it was late and cold and husband was hungry, kids were hungry, so we just got food to go. And then since I'm down here, we have a gift card for Buffalo Wild Wings, and husband he has to work from home, and he's like, they have that deal going on for, I don't know what the deal is, but he's like, why don't I place the order? You go pick it up. And I'm like, fine. Thankfully, I'm not over my calories yet today. My breakfast was like 250 calories, not bad. I've only had water to drink. So whatever this meal is, I'll have to adjust for dinner and hopefully stay under. But so far, so good. And I have noticed like it's cut back on my snacking. It's making me more accountable because I have to go and look at the calories on things. And when I'm looking at the calories, I'm like, do I really want this when I'd rather have actual food later? You know? So it's actually doing pretty good. I've mentioned doing calorie counting before in the past and how I didn't want to do it again because I get obsessive with it, and I can get obsessive with it. But this time, instead of using the, what do you call it? It's the MyFitnessPal. This time, instead of doing that, I just have it on my notepad and I'm just calculating it. I'm not worrying about what I eat. I'm just worrying about calories, because they always say calories in, calories out. Doesn't matter what you eat. Da, 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 da. So I'm not worrying about what I eat. I'm just tracking how many calories I'm consuming. And I'm also tracking my water. I'm trying to get in enough water in a day. I have yet to meet that goal. I've come close. Yeah, so I would, like, when I used MyFitnessPal, I would just get obsessive over it because it has like your macros and micros and whatever all those things are. And I would obsess over, I didn't get enough protein and I didn't get enough this, I didn't get enough that. And then I went to the gym, so I burned these many calories. So now I'm like way under on my calories, and like I would just obsess over it. So I'm like, I'm cutting the clutter. I'm not doing that app. I'm not, if I go to the gym, fine, whatever. I'm not worrying about how many calories I burn versus how many calories I eat. I'm just trying to keep under a 2,000 calorie a day diet. Like, this is, 2,000 calories is what I'm eating. I don't care if I go to the, if I hit like 1,900 calories on a day and I go to the gym and burn 100, I'm not gonna go subtract an extra 100 from that. I'm not doing all that. I'm keeping it as simple as possible so I don't have all the extra clutter to worry about, which is what messed me up in the past when I would try calorie counting. I'm just trying to really simplify it. So hopefully I don't obsess over it. Like I said, it's only like 3 days in. Today's day 3. But yesterday and the day before, I did notice a difference of like cutting back on snacking, because I had to be accountable with that. And like, I have to really think about, do I want to spend my calories on this? And then I also noticed that since I'm not snacking so much in between meals, like I'm actually hungry by lunch or dinner, which feeling the hunger sensation isn't something I feel often. I'm being honest with you. It's not, because I snack a lot more than I ever realized, apparently. So it was kind of an interesting thing I've noticed. Anyway, let's head to Buffalo Wild Wings and pick up our lunch. So we just got to Buffalo Wild Wings. It was not hard to get to. It was only like a 10-minute drive. The food should be ready in like another 20 minutes. So I gotta sit here with the cranky toddler for 20 more minutes. When the husband called in our food, they said they do not offer curbside pickup today. I don't know why today in particular, but look what I found when I got here. What's that little sign there say, huh? Yeah, curbside pickup. I don't know why they wouldn't be offering it today when they have the spots for it. Kind of weird. My thoughts is because it's cold and they don't want to come outside. I hate to be like that guy and complain about it, but like I've also got that guy, and carrying that guy and all the food's not gonna be easy. So like, plus it's freezing. I don't want to get him out in the cold again. So like curbside pickup would be really convenient for me. Let's just say it like that. This other guy had his go order apparently, because he just went in and got it and came back out. So I don't know why they aren't offering curbside. Yeah. He's gonna cry. I don't know what to do. I don't want to stay here for 20 minutes. I thought it was gonna take me longer to get over here. So I just got our food picked up and I'm feeling mildly frustrated about the situation. Staff was nice enough. That wasn't the problem. But it's the whole curbside pickup not being available thing still getting to me. And I hate to be a Karen, and I was nice in there. I didn't do anything. But I didn't tip them either, which might be a shit move on my part. Which it was just to carry out anyways. But there's one waitress, one table. And then there was the, the hostess. So the waitress was taking care of her one table, and then the hostess came over to take care of my stuff. And it's like, there's literally no reason why we couldn't have paid over the phone and then somebody could have brought it out to the curbside pickup. There's literally no reason other than you just don't want to do it. At the very least, we should have been able to pay over the phone. Because it's so freaking frustrating to be standing there trying to pay for something with a toddler in tow. And like, I know I just did it at like Petco, but Petco, I had a shopping cart to put my kid in. So I was able to get my stuff out. At a restaurant, you gotta hold your kid while doing everything because he's a runner, just like his brother was. They just want to run away. So it makes things frustrating, and it's just a nice convenience. And you just, I don't know, first world problems. It's a little thing to be petty over, but I'm like, really? Like, it just I just kind of got the impression that it's cold outside and they don't want to bring stuff outside, which is like fine. You know, there's sometimes I don't want to do things with my job and I slack, and I get it. But like, I don't know, I'm gonna slack at your job. I'm gonna tip anybody. Which it's curbside pickup anyways. I don't know how often people tip for curbside pickup. I tip. So I'm a hit or miss. Sometimes I give you like $1 or something. I don't want to say you're not doing a lot, but like, you're not doing a lot. Like, you're running the cash register. I just want to interject right here and say that, yes, I have done restaurant work before. I have been in their shoes. I worked at a restaurant for 4 years. I've done hostess, waitress, you name it. I pretty much did it without cooking or managing. I did pretty much everything else. And nobody ever tipped me for doing hostess work, and that included to-go orders. I wasn't a table that you had to serve. I don't know. Which, by the way, I used to work at a restaurant job. You bust ass. Like, had I walked in there and the place was slammed, which is like 2 people, like, I would have like felt so differently about the whole situation. But there's like nobody in there. Like I said, 1 table. Like there's no reason that we could have paid over the phone and y'all could have brought my food out real quick and went back inside. Like, there's nobody in here. Anyways, mild frustrations. I'm gonna go home. Good morning. It is now Monday. I kind of fell off vlogging there. I also completely fell off with the calorie tracking, though I didn't do bad at all yesterday. I don't know how much I consumed, but I'm sure it wasn't that bad. So I had a salad, which definitely factored in the first day that I did really good on counting. I think it was like 250 or 300 calories for the salad. So I had the same salad, and what did I have for breakfast that day? Well, that day being yesterday. What did I have for breakfast? I don't remember. Mini pancakes. I don't know what the calorie counter is on that. And then dinner last night, husband made eggs and sausage. So, I mean, overall, I don't think yesterday was probably too bad. Saturday was a family Christmas party, so it didn't count at all. I don't even remember what all we ate. I know Saturday for lunch, husband and I went out to eat while Ira was evaluated at speech therapy. They diagnosed him with some big technical term that I don't know how to pronounce, but they said pretty much what it means is his brain and his mouth aren't making the connection, so they want him to come twice a week. Downside is they have to wait until today, which is now Monday, to see if our insurance will even cover it. And I'm like, why wasn't that checked before our evaluation appointment? Like, I don't know. Between the doctor and then the place that does the speech therapy, why wasn't our insurance checked? Because it was like a week notice, like they had a week before we even showed up for our evaluation. So if insurance won't cover his speech therapy, we're gonna have to pay out of pocket. So yay, more bills, which leads us into talking about me going back to substitute teaching and Mike staying home with Ira, which he has to work from home a lot of the time anyways. He has to work from home the whole month of January, and then after that we'll see what comes of it. But it was like a week on, a week off with the office, and then it was like every other day with the office, and now it's like all the time at home. And so we'll see how it plans out. But the good thing with substitute teaching is like they call you when they need you, and then if you can do it, you say yes, and if you can't do it, you say no. So it's like very flexible. It's not set schedule at all. Let's not be running around with chalk unless you're gonna go use it on the chalkboard, huh? Are you gonna go use it on the chalkboard in there? Yeah. I don't even, do you want to use it on the chalkboard? Right here. Do you want to use it over here on the chalkboard? Turn it around. This is what the kids got at the family Christmas party. Come here. No? You don't want to play chalk? We're waiting for Keisha to come get us? You chalk on the chalkboard? There you go, good job. So the kids got that for their Christmas gift at the family Christmas party. It's a joint gift. Kind of how we set things up is that the adults bring, like if you have, okay, so like in our family, me and my husband, right? So we'll each bring like a $10 to $15 gift card to put on the tree, and then we play bingo for gift cards. And then for the kids, we just bring a gift for our own children. And so we went to go pick the boys out gifts for the Christmas party, and Levi seen this and was like, I gotta have it. And I'm like, well, it's $35. You have to share it with brother, and it's gonna be a joint gift for the both of you. Which is double-sided. One-sided is chalk. The other side of it is whiteboard. I thought being with the easel, like, I thought they were gonna be able to play with it at the same time. Not so much, but they're still enjoying it and having fun with it. You're doing so good. So yeah, fell off on the calorie tracking. Had a good time at the Christmas party, seeing everybody. Worked yesterday. Work was okay. Work was work. And now this morning we're gonna go to the gym with my cousin. She has today off. She also does substitute teaching. And yeah, I know. So she has today off, so we're gonna go to the gym with her, and then later on I gotta go to donate plasma. But it's kind of the plans. But yeah, talking about me going back to substitute teaching. The pay is like minimum wage. It's not like anything exciting, but an extra paycheck is an extra paycheck, and it's super flexible. So if Mike has to go to the office, or he just thinks he can't work from home with Ira that day, then I just won't go into the office. I just won't go in for subbing. The other nice thing is I'd be on the exact same schedule as our oldest boy. So, and my husband gets off work by like 3:15, and Levi is at school by 3. So if I'm subbing, I'd be out by 3, and Ira wakes up from his nap at 3. So my husband will only have to like work and watch Ira during the morning, and then Ira goes down around noon for his nap. So, which my husband takes lunch around 11:30, so they'd have lunch together, and then at the end he would just put him down for a nap. But that's kind of what we're thinking. And the reason I won't go do more hours at my weekend job is because they want to do like a set schedule, and it's kind of one of those things where it could change day by day. Like one day he's not going to the office, and then you think the next day he won't, and then things change and he's gonna have to go to the office. So we need something that's not set, and they just like call you in the morning like, hey, can you work today? So, and I'm up anyways getting Levi ready, so it'd be really easy to be yes or no. So that's kind of thoughts on that. Hopefully things work out where our insurance will cover the speech therapy, but we'll see. I also need to make a dental appointment because I'm getting a cavity in my front tooth. So that's fun. I have another cavity and a tooth way back here. I talked about it like ages ago. I've had it for like a year now. We don't have dental insurance, and we're gonna pay out of pocket. And this tooth back here just had so much work done on it. And the last time I had a cavity filled in it, I wasn't numbed up enough, and they hit the nerve, and that just kind of scarred me. Like now I'm just like so freaked out to go back to the dentist for work to be done. Like if somebody could just give me like a chill pill, like I don't want to lay there and be drilled on. I just need some anxiety medicine or something. Like I'm freaking out, which is why I've put it off for like the past year. And that tooth, like I had it done before we ever had Levi, and there was like supposed to be a small cavity, and the dentist was so rough drilling it. And then I went for a checkup 2 years later, and the new dentist was like, you have to have that cavity redone. It's supposed to be like a lifetime filling, but it has to be redone because there's decay around it. So they re-drilled it, and the guy was like, oh wow, he went down really far. Like, do you have nerve damage? Like, does it hurt? And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I have problems with it where it has like sensitivity. Stop screaming in the litter box. Get away from it. Yucky. The cat's in there. Come on. Oh, the cat was in the litter box. But yeah, the big sensitivity to hurt sometimes. Like it's just like rare occasion. He's like, well, that's probably because the other dentist went down too far. Which the other dentist, when I went in to have it done, was like, oh, it's just a surface cavity. If you don't have to get numbed for it if you don't want to, which thankfully I was. But it was still like he pushed so hard I thought he was gonna break my tooth. Well, I've had it worked on twice for the same cavity, and now I have a cavity on the other side of it. And the last time when they were redoing the filling in it, I got a shot of nerve pain, even though it wasn't numbed up. It hurt so bad. So now I got to go back for a cavity on the other side, and I've just let it go because I'm kind of almost like debating on just having them pull it because I'm done messing with it. I don't know. I'm like, oh. But anyways, my cousin's here, so we need to get out the door and head to the gym. Get away. So I'm back from the gym. Just made up some salads. You guys see me cutting up the lettuce and added chicken nuggets on top for chicken. Easy. I'm gonna have some of these cracker thins. I'm not sure what they're called. It's almost like a chip, but they're a cracker and they're freaking delicious. So we're gonna have some of that with that as well. And then I'm gonna have to head out to go donate plasma. So I'm gonna go eat. So just finished at plasma. So now I'm gonna head to Walmart to go get a filtration system for the Axolotl tank. I'm so excited. Hopefully another week or so I'll be able to get one. I'm still, I don't know why I'm talking about this so much. I'm still debating on if I want to do a bare bottom tank or a sanded. And I know if you guys know nothing about axolotls, that means absolutely nothing to you. That's just part of what I've been looking into. Some people say do bare bottom, some people say sand is fine. The issue with the substrate is sometimes like they could suck it in and then like they can like have digestive problems. Supposedly if they're over 4 inches long, they're okay to have sand and it's fine. Some people disagree on that. Some people say a bare bottom tank is the only way to go. Others say that a bare bottom tank stresses them out. Some people say split it and give them some bare bottom and some sand. I'm like, I don't know. But the first thing I got to do is get a filtration system, fill up the tank, and let it cycle. So I'm still a little ways out from being able to get one, but I might stop into the pet store to poke around and see what kind of aquatic plants they have available, because I'd like to get some Anubias and maybe some Java Fern to put in the axolotl tank. So let's head to Walmart and get the stuff that I need. Okay, so I just finished at Walmart. I spent like $47, but I had like a $25 gift card, so that's pretty good. Things are just getting way too expensive, y'all. We talk about this. Y'all know, y'all are experiencing it too. It's insanity. So I got my husband a case of Coke Zero. It's kind of a smallish case. That man drinks Coke Zero like it's freaking water. But that's all I had, so I got him a small case. They had these bins on sale for like $5, and it's a 3-pack. And I've seen online where some people will take these and cut them up and turn them into hides for their axolotls. And I'm also thinking, like, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily want to make it into a hide, though maybe the smaller one would work well for that, and then they have a flat spot on top to hang out. But I'm going to need a place to store the equipment, so having a storage bin's kind of good for $5. I think that was bad for 3 of them. Then I got a turkey baster. This is more information about axolotls than half you probably even want to know about. But you have to feed them, like, we don't have to, but a lot of times, like, you'll feed like frozen blood worms and stuff. You thaw them out, and so you'll use this, you suck up the worms in it and spurt them in. Or you could hand feed. I've heard some people say hand feeding is better. I don't know what I want to do yet. But then I've also heard, like, you want one of these so you can spot clean your axolotl's tank and suck out any poop. So I figured I need one of those, which was very hard to find, by the way, and that was the only one I could find in the store. And I went up and down the aisle like 3 or 4 times. Then I just got some basic fish tank equipment. So we got a little thermometer there. We've got a bubbler, air bubbler thing. It had some wax melts that smelled good. This one's at the fair, and it's pretty good. Not quite the funnel cake smell I was expecting, but it's pretty good. Airline tubing that I'll need for the pump. And here's a split off so that I can run the filter and the bubbler at the same time. Can you not drive at me? Hi, I'm in a parking spot. How about we not play Russian roulette in the freaking... You got real close to my car, lady. I hate when people do that. Don't drive through parking spots. Go up and down the row. Don't act like you're entitled. Don't just fly through all the parking spots, okay? It's not safe. Plus, there's a car coming this way, and there's a big U-Haul over here, so I'm sure she couldn't even see that guy until she got real close. Like, don't... If you're gonna have a wreck in a parking lot, you want to have the right of way. You don't want to be doing stupid stuff like that, because if there had been a wreck right there, it'd have been the other car who had the right of way, not her. Just my 2 cents. That's like, you know, when they ask, like, oh, pet peeves? That is a pet peeve of mine. People who just willy-nilly drive through all the parking spots. Like, it's not cool. Especially in an area like this. Like, I get it if it's out in the back and there's absolutely nobody around. Like, okay, I kind of get it. You just want to get through faster. But what she just did, like, there's U-Haul, cart return, 2 spots, me, 2 spots, the next row, and a car was coming, and she just, like, whipped straight through. And it's like, girl, you gonna cause a wreck, or you gonna wreck my car. And I'm not gonna be happy, and you're not gonna be happy. And all because you had to go have, like, you know, entitlement issues and fly through all the parking spots because it's going to get you there 2 seconds faster. Anyways, that was a rant nobody asked for. I got a filter. Then I found this thing back on the clearance section, and I hope it's long enough to cover at least most of the back of the tank, but I'm going to tape it on to, like, not the inside of the tank, but the back side. And I thought it'd be just, like, a really pretty background for the tank. I'm kind of thinking, like, okay, dream axolotl here. I want one of, some people call them lavender, some people call them blue. They're almost like a light gray. I think they're so pretty, and that's really what I want. But they are expensive and kind of hard to find from what I'm looking into. I've only found one for sale from somebody online, and they want like 150 or 175. Like, it's not cheap. So the more common looking ones are the ones that are like white with pink gills. And I just thought this as the background for something white with pink gills would just be really eye-popping. I thought it looked nice. And then husband was wanting a big water bottle that he could put ice in. So this is the only one I could find. It's color changing. You can either have this greenish color or pink. Not that he cares. It's one thing I love about my husband. Like, he just don't care about the color stuff. He's like, whatever, as long as it works. Like, I love that. I've dated guys before who, like, I swear had masculinity issues, and they're like, it's pink, it's for girls, blah, blah, blah. Like, my husband just don't care. He's like, as long as it works, I don't care. I love that. So, let's head over to the pet store because they did not have the filter I needed. They had the pump, but not the filter. So, we gotta go to the pet store anyway, so I get the filter, so I can fill the tank and start cycling it. and I want to look for plants. Okay, we just pulled in to the pet store parking lot. I'd love to film in here, but I'm not sure how well that would go over. It is a small little personally owned pet store. I don't know if they'd appreciate somebody filming in here or not. Plus, like I said earlier in the video, some people in the community don't like them because of how they source their like puppies and stuff. I don't know fact or not. I don't know if that's true or not. And I've personally never come here to buy cats or dogs, but I love their aquatic section. I love what they have to offer. I think they always have a lot of unique things, and I think the tanks are always pretty well kept. So as far as my concerns, I mean, I feel like they're doing a good job. But if somebody's looking to buy a cat or a dog, or I could see where somebody might say that like maybe the hamsters and mice aren't necessarily kept in the best conditions. I feel like they do have a little bit of overstock in that department. Like I could see somebody boycotting coming in to buy feeder mice, or boycotting coming in to buy dogs and cats from them. I get that. But when it comes to things that I like to buy, I think they're doing a good job. I think they're doing a great job with their aquatic section. I have no problem giving them my money, especially when it comes to buying their aquatic animals or plants. They always have a great selection of plants. So from that point of view, I have no problem with coming here. But I wouldn't want them to like ask me to leave if I'm filming because they think that like I'm gonna slam them or something or whatever. Because there's people who's done it on Facebook who've come in here and like tried to find an issue, and then they try to like blast on Facebook and cause them problems. And I love this little pet store. I've been coming here since I was a little kid. I think they have a great selection. Again, I don't know one way or the other about puppy mills for dogs. I don't know how they source it. I always thought they got from local breeders because a lot of times they have like mixed breed dogs in here. Like right now they've got, I can't quite see the sign, Aussie Poo. So that's like a Australian Shepherd and a Poodle mix. Like I feel like I don't know that much about dog breeding and all that, and I know there's such thing as designer breeds, but sometimes I feel like things like that is like people who just, oh, I love my Australian Shepherd and I love my Poodle and I want to have them make babies. And I mean, again, I don't know that much about that industry, But I always thought they got them from people coming in and being like, hey, my dog had puppies. Like, I'm a local breeder. Like, do you want to buy the dogs that I have? Like, I don't know. It's just been recent years that I've started hearing they get them from Puppy Mill. So, again, I don't know if it's true or not, but for those reasons mentioned, I don't want to cause them problems or myself problems because I love coming here. So, we're just going to pop in and see what they have, and I'll show you what I buy if I buy anything. Definitely getting the filter, but I don't know if they'll have the plants I want or not. So, I bought an axolotl. Wasn't my plan. And to be honest with you, I don't necessarily like the look of any of them I had, or even the one that I bought, and I feel bad saying that. I mean, he's cute, but this is like the only place I'm aware of that sells them, other than buying them online, which, like I said, online, they're like in the hundreds, like 100, 150. There was one place I found that it was like 75, but they didn't have anything listed. Most of them were like 100 or more, 125, 135, like they just go up and up depending on what kind it is. Basically like the color and how it looks. So the one I got, I don't want to stress it out too bad, and I got it bagged up, so I'll show you guys when I get home, but it's one of the, I think they're called Lucient, which means they are pretty much a white color with pink gills and black eyes. So not to be confused with the albinos, which look very similar, but their gills are more of a red color and they have red eyes. They had one that I really liked the look of that was pretty substantial in size, and it was golden, and it had like an iridescent flex to it, which looks really pretty. However, its tank mate looked like it was stressed out. And I don't know, like, after all this talk I just said about their aquatic selection, I don't know if they're like having an issue or something, because there were people like working on everything and they're like trying to clean everything. But I seen a few tanks with dead fish, and then the tank that had the axolotls, like there was 2 different tanks. One of them looked fine, which is the one I got my axolotl out of. The other tank had 2 in it, and I feel like they had them mispaired, because the big one was the golden one, and then there's a smaller one in there that was another Lucient, and you can't keep different sizes together or they'll like start to beat up on each other or like bite each other's legs off. And the little one like had its gills curled up, and I've heard that's a sign of an axolotl that's in stress if it's got its gills curled. So just on the off chance there's something wrong with the tank, I assume that its problem was its tank mate. That's my thoughts, but I didn't want to take the chance and get the gold one and they be sick, like there'd be something wrong with the tank. So I went with the different one that was in a tank with 2 other axolotls that were the same size as it, and they all looked really healthy. They were all very active when like they went to go take them out. They were all just swimming around trying to get away from the net. Like they were very, very active. They even before they got it out, like they were kind of roaming around. They weren't like super, super active. I think axolotls are kind of a sedimentary kind of animal, plus they're more nocturnal, but they were still poking around the tank, whereas the other tank with the golden one and the smaller Lucient, like they were just like nose stuck in the corner, hardly moving, just sitting there. And like I said, the Lucient had its gills turned up, which means it's probably stressed out. So even though I would have rather had the gold one because it was really pretty looking, I figured it's better to get a healthier one than to get that one and risk it dying. But anyways, I decided to buy one today because I was asking some questions about axolotls and, you know, getting the stuff and whatnot and what they feed them and how often they get them in. And because I noticed for like the past year, they've had them pretty steadily. And the lady was like, well, we're not getting any more in because the breeder we have is not going to breed them anymore. So unless we find another breeder, this is all we have and won't be getting any more in. So that probably also explains the price increase on their axolotls if this is all they're gonna have. I also think axolotls have just gone up in popularity because Minecraft now has axolotls in it, so I guess they're getting really popular from that standpoint. But yeah, I went ahead and bought one because I'm like, this might be my last chance to get one at a decent price under 100. So I went ahead and did it. I may have to because the one guy who, I guess, he was like asking the lady questions, so I think she like knew more probably, or was like higher in charge or something, excuse me. But she was like in the middle of doing inventory when I asked about getting one, and so she got him, and she was like, get out one of these axolotls for her. And he was like, does she have her tank cycled? Which I don't. And I just had a conversation with the lady about not having my tank cycled yet. And she was like, yeah, she's got everything. She's about the sponge filter. It'll be fine. Axolotls aren't picky. And I'm a little like, ugh. I feel like he's in the right for asking that question about like for the health and safety of the animal. But he went ahead and got one out because I think she's his boss and he just kind of had to do it. But I think what I'm going to do, and I say this tentatively, I think I'm going to acclimate it to my fish tank first because, sorry, I'm like popping my, thinking through this, and I'm like popping the lid on my cup. I'm gonna acclimate it to my fish tank first because the fish tank is already set up, it's cycled, I've had it for several months. So it should acclimate well to the fish tank. And it's like a 20 or 30 gallon. Unfortunately, it's a tall, not a long, which they need longs, but this guy's kind of small, so he should be fine. The only worrisome thing to that is he may eat all of my fish. Thankfully he's small, so maybe he won't be able to. And my ghost shrimp, I feel like there's a very good chance he's gonna scarf down my ghost shrimp. Yeah, that could be an issue, but otherwise it's a sanded tank. Oh, and my frogs. I'll have to move my frogs because axolotls and my door frogs have bad eyesight, and axolotls are like a suction feeder. They kind of suck anything in that's by its mouth. So I could just see my frog getting too close to the axolotl and there went my frog. So I'll probably have to move. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about it until just now. I don't know which is better to do. I could put the axolotl in the beta tank. Downside is the beta tank's only 5 gallons. Upside would be temporary, and the axolotl is very small at this point. Downside to that is there is some snails, so you risk impaction if he tries to eat a snail, and that could be a problem. Whereas the other tank doesn't have, it's got like one big mystery snail in it, which is too big for this guy to even eat. If he tried, he wouldn't be able to get the shell in his mouth. So I might put the frogs in with the beta in the kitchen and then put the axolotl in the fish tank. Hope he doesn't eat all of my ghost shrimp. And then, because from what I've done on the research is that you want things too small to go in their mouth. And the best choice is a zebra danio, or a danio is what I said, not necessarily a zebra, but a danio in general. Because they're too fast for the axolotls to eat. However, they may end up eating some, which I have danios and tetras. So he might eat my tetras and he might eat all my danios. And hopefully my beta leaves him alone. But I've got a big hide in there, and he can go in the hide, and the beta never goes in the hide. So I think that's probably my best bet while I cycle the tank. Uphand, they had used filters for sale, which is nice because it already has all of the filter, bacteria, medium, whatever, the stuff you need. So if you already get a dirty filter and put it into your tank, it'll cycle more quickly. I was also going to take out some of my fish tank water, and I've also got water from the axolotl's tank from in here. I'm just going to put into the new tank with the new water, so when it cycles, it'll already have the bacteria, so it should cycle more quickly than just a dry start tank that has no start off for the bacteria. Anyways, that's probably way more information than anybody out there needs to know. I'm sure some of you are like bored to tears, and others are like hanging on for more. So we're gonna head on home and get this guy set up. Husband just texted me. I just told him I went ahead and bought one because he knew I wasn't gonna get one for another couple weeks. And so we'll see what he had to say, but he's probably making fun of me. I'm like, y'all have a spouse or a partner where like they're not allowed to go to the store because they spend too much? That's me in this relationship. He's like, I shouldn't send you to the store anymore because you spend too much. Okay, so here's the axolotl. So not the cutest little thing. Oh my goodness. So you can kind of tell its gills are kind of, I can't tell if it's just straight up or if they're kind of curling forward. Again, that's a sign of stress. However, it is in a bag. It just went on a car ride, and there's now bright lights on it, which they don't love. But they're just so stinking cute. I think this one's female. It's kind of hard to tell in the bag, but I believe it's female. So I'm going to end today's video here while I get her tank set up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you did enjoy. Give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I just appreciate the engagement. Hang out with me in the comments down below. Let me know. Have you guys ever had an axolotl? Do you got any tips? Go leave some comments. And I hope to catch you guys in my next video.